All right. Good to see you here today. We are on March 22nd, and we are here for our weekly live Q&A call. I am your host, Wally Wrestler. Do this every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Central. You folks send in your questions to me, or you get them texted to me, emailed to me, and then I go ahead and answer them in live. So let's go ahead and let's take a quick look at the questions for today's live. So question number one says, how do you help salespeople build rapport with prospects and customers, and what are some common mistakes that salespeople make in this area? So if you go to Mastering Influence by Tony Robbins, he goes through a whole process of building rapport with somebody. He says it's done physiologically first and foremost, and it's the easiest way to do that, and that's through the process of mirroring or matching, pacing and leading, and whatnot. Your job is to get in concert with that person vibrationally, physiologically first. If you're over the phone, your physiology for who you are and your tone of voice are what allow you to build rapport with people over the phone more quickly. So it is a physiological job, face to face. You're using your body and your connection with them. Over the phone, it is somehow part of your body because how you move impacts the quality of your voice and then the tone of your voice. Now, in addition to tone, we have speed, we've got volume, we've got timbre and pitch, we've got accents. There's all kinds of different aspects of it, but the fact of the matter is those are the two best ways to build rapport with somebody. Now, what mistakes do people make? Well, number one, I think a lot of people make mistakes because they think asking questions is rapport building, and it's not. Okay, especially if you're out of the gate and you're asking a truckload of questions and you're not connecting with people, especially on the phone, it can get a little hairy because it can feel like the Spanish Inquisition. The other thing is selling is not telling. Sitting down and just start talking to people and selling them something and telling them what you think they want to hear. We used to call it, dropping all your candy in the lobby, basically not even making it to your destination. A lot of times people sit down and they'll just go la 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 la. They don't ask any questions. They don't connect. They don't take the time to connect. One of the things we recommend to our real estate coaching clients is that when they go to a listing, that they spend a lot of time on the walkthrough, not just interior, but also exterior. Spend 15, 20 minutes with people, get to know them, build rapport with them, right? As you're walking through somebody's house, you can connect with them physiologically through body movements, certainly through voice. And then there's a thing called affinity where you connect with people based on commonalities. If you see kids on a wall, they've got grandkids on a picture, and you've got grandkids or kids, certainly you can refer to that. But it all starts with that physiological contact. So, don't start jumping to questioning. Don't jump into telling people everything you know. Be sincere, be authentic. If you're flattering and you're being insincere in how you're talking to people, all those things are going to be not conducive to rapport. And certainly rapport killers are not connecting with somebody physiologically and also saying hurtful, mean, stupid things as well. Okay? Number two. Please hold. How do you teach salespeople to develop a positive mindset and maintain a positive attitude even when facing rejection or challenges? Whew. Well, here's the thing. Everybody has been through some challenges in life, right? If you've walked the earth for several years, you've faced heartbreak, you've faced being let down, you may have faced a death in your family, you've faced hurt, you've faced loss, physical things, people. So we all have challenges that we've faced in our life. The issue is that a lot of us, and I'm speaking for myself specifically, for a long time, a lot of us looked at those negative things as bad things and not learning experiences. Okay, now look, they can still be bad things, don't get me wrong, but they're also learning experiences. You can take something away from everything that's happened to you that is as potentially negative. The coaches in college football especially are like, hey, you don't remember the wins, you remember the losses, right? Because the losses are the ones that stick with you. They're the ones where all the lessons are. So if you want to maintain a positive attitude, the first thing you have to do is you have to look at everything that's happened and everything that could happen and look at it as an opportunity to learn and to grow and find the good in it. There's good in just about every bad thing that happens, right? And it comes out of it. Specifically, for instance, there never used to be seatbelts in cars, and then people started dying and because they would hit the windshield or they would hit the dashboard and they would die. So they put windshields in cars, and then the windshield wasn't a shatterproof glass, so people would fly through it easily or whatever. So things like that, terrible, horrible things that people died, but we learned some things from it, and now seatbelts and shatterproof glass are parts of cars, and it's saved millions of lives. So you've got to look first and foremost at everything that's happened and look at it and say, what can I learn from this and what good can come of this? What good can come of this, or what good can come of that? And then what can I learn from this? The other thing is that a positive mind is not established on, thank you, Daniel. I agree with you, right? Even a bad loss or a coworker will teach you great lessons, 100%. So here's the thing. The other thing is a positive mind is built. It is crafted over time. Okay, so not only do you build resilience by overcoming all these challenges we've talked about, but you've got to continue to pump positive things into your brain, right? You've got to train your brain to look for the positive, which is what? Mindfulness meditation, journaling, reading, affirmations, visualization, right? You've got to take control of what's going into your brain and really own what happens and do it on a day-over-day basis, right? Repetition is the mother of skill. Right, you can't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to be positive, yay! Right? It's not that about that. It's about taking control of what goes into your head, taking control of what stays there, and then focusing on the positive on a day-over-day, week-over-week basis. Now, look, does this mean you're going to have a great day every day? Possibly. Does it mean bad things are not going to happen to you? Highly unlikely. But does it mean that you can have the best possible attitude and best possible mindset every day if you focus on things like that? Absolutely. All right, question 3. What are some effective strategies for preparing for sales calls? Michael Reese, who I've worked with extensively, he's got this win before you start mentality, which I love. I mean, part of it is setting yourself up for success, right? Lack of clarity, confusion, really, it hinders, it dampens momentum. It dampens excitement. If I'm unclear about something, that's hard for me to get excited about it, right? So, number 1, schedule your prospecting time as a repeater and make it non-negotiable. Right? Leads, lifeblood of any business, whether it's referrals or leads you generate yourself, you got to make sure you spend time on that. You should have time scheduled in your calendar regularly to prospect. It's got to be non-negotiable time. Gary Keller talks about this with Keller Williams. If you erase, you must replace. So if you don't do your prospecting, you've got to replace it so you can at least get that time in. So schedule in your calendar, make it non-negotiable. Know who you're calling every time. Just don't sit down and say, okay, who am I going to call here? What lead source am I calling? Okay, who am I going to be calling? Make sure that I have my scripts out and that I've internalized them as best I can. Right? We use scripts because we want to direct the call we want to take the call in the direction we want to take it and control the outcome to the best we can. A lot of people are like, I don't want to do scripts because I sound robotic. The reason you sound robotic is because you haven't internalized them. We use scripts all the time, every day. We just don't realize it, okay? So have a good script, know what you're supposed to say, know how to handle the objections, make sure you're in the right mindset, stand up, stay hydrated, have a snack nearby, have an outcome for what you're looking to accomplish that day, and then track your results. I mean, it seems like a lot, but if you can get into that groove and doing that consistently, you'll get better and better results. Like I said before, repetition is the mother of skill. Cool thing, the same part of your brain, I think it's the cerebellum, I could be wrong, which is responsible for muscle memory. So if you played an instrument or if you danced or played sports or whatnot, the more you did something, the better you got at it, the more your brain remembered. The same thing can work for non-physical things like scripts and dialogues and recall of thoughts. You can actually create muscle memory for the things you say, right? In fact, when you're calling, if you call the same lead source for at least an hour, as you move along in that hour of calling that lead source, your brain is going to kick in and it's going to assist you in doing it better with recall, with using the right words, with saying things, with listening better, because you're training it to support you in that way. But you have to commit to it, and then you've got to do the things that I talked about, okay? Those are all the questions I have for today. Unless we have any more, we see some folks here. You can always send me your questions to wally@phonesalessecrets.com. You can text them to me, 214-334-1356, or you can drop them right here on Facebook. Always looking forward to serving you and answering your questions. If you ever need anything, let me know. Make sure you're kind to yourself.